fish market. That didn't take too long at all. We're mopping up all these side quests on the way to do the main quest. Would this game benefit from mini games to add variety?
Fish? Fresh fish?
No. It wouldn't fit the atmosphere to have mini games in this.
I did what you asked. Not sure what difference it will make, given the state of your houses.
Hush! My properties suit a discerning and budget-conscious clientele. They are of the finest quality.
Seems you and I have different standards of quality, Walter.
You don't know this Borg like I do, newcomer. I'll beat old Victor at his own game. Here, take your reward. And don't forget to recommend my lodgings to your friends.
I hope they are never in such dire need of shelter.
Yeah, here I have to get a full English breakfast, except not blood sausage. That's not happening. And I gotta get fish and chips while I'm over there.
Fish?
And tea.
Fresh fish?
Fish. Although I don't like fish, so I don't know if I should get fish. Maybe they'll have chicken instead of fish. Chicken and chips. I'm sure they'll have that. Not a fan. I've never been a fan of fish. Fried, baked, broiled. Never liked fish very much.
Best stuff in Oakmont. All on sale. Today only.
Hello. I'll need to find me a sexy guy to take me around. Wonder where I'll find one. Alright, let's see. Case book. Been broken. I should need to visit the university. A bald head. So I'm looking for someone bald at the university. Someone bald.
What's your problem?
Not you. It's gonna have to be inside somewhere, I'm sure. Closed for maintenance.
Welcome to the University of Oakmont. How can I help you?
You recognize this bottle? You know where it comes from?
Sorry. We have hundreds of bottles like this in the university.
Fine. I need to know what's in it. Any suggestions?
You need an analysis. Well, I'm sure someone from the Department of Medicine can help there.
I'm looking for Professor Westerbrook. You know where I can find him?
You're the one bringing him the specimen?
Specimen?
Never mind. He's in the Department of Medicine. Let me show you.
You have a good day.
Goodbye, sir.
Over there? Okay, thank you. That guy's the embodiment of Twitch chat.
Wendell sent you to deliver me the books, right?
What?
No. You must have me confused with someone else.
Oh, excuse me. I'm just worried for the fate of these tomes. It's been a week without news from Wendell. Maybe you can help me. I'd reward you, of course.
I like money.
Why not? What can I do?
Oh, marvelous. Let's get acquainted then. Samuel Hopes, honorary member of Altera Par's book club.
Charles Reed, Private Eye.
Good, good. Listen, we're missing 3 rare books. One was taken for restoration while the other 2 were being studied. I asked Wendell to contact all parties, but he's gone quiet. Here's our records. Please, retrieve the tomes. They're so very valuable.
Why are they so valuable?
They're the 3rd, 7th, and 9th tomes written by the humble servant. The collection of all 11 books is our most prized possession. The author's real name is a mystery, but we know that he was an Oakmonter for sure.
I'm not an expert in books, but should you be keeping them in the rain?
Okay, I'm on it. Bye.
I mean, they're all just sort of in the rain next to the fountain. This seems like a bad idea to me. Again, I'm not an expert in books, so I don't know. Why, hello there.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Oakmont University Department of Medicine. I'm Samuel.
Charles Reed, private investigator. I have a few questions if you don't mind. You recognize this bottle? Maybe you could tell me what's inside.
That's one of our lab bottles. We have a lot of them. As for what's inside, I'd need to run some tests.
Yeah, could you do that for me?
These tests aren't cheap. And the other day, I could get right to it, but we're, somewhat hindered right now.
What's up?
Our lab is crawling with, well, creatures. Professor Westerbrook's research is a little unconventional, and something went wrong. Really wrong.
I can kill the creatures for you.
So, if I do a little pest control for you, you'll run those tests for me. For free?
Our budget is tight. You'd be helping the cause of science, Mr. Reed. Isn't that enough?
Oh, I guess science could help itself.
All right. Yes, you solve all problem, and I'll run the test for you. Off the books. Here's the key for the basement.
You want me to risk my life for nothing?
The door won't budge.
To all staff students of the university, henceforth, any mention of the Everybody's Obvious Duty organization, known as EOD, its symbolics, current or past members, as well as embousing the beliefs is forbidden on university grounds on pain of dismissal and or expulsion. The administration has received numerous reports of EOD activity and outreach disguised as so-called charity work throughout our university and all over Oakmont. This dangerous activity has reached an epidemic proportions and cannot be tolerated. Administration of the Board of Trustees. So it's banned here. Which is probably good. That it?
I'm glad this thing is dead. Why do they even keep it here?
Okay. Experiment log part 2, March 10th. Those pesky limitations removed, I can finally continue my experiments unhindered. Need to know more. The specimen remained alive even with half of the internal organs removed. It's fascinating. I'm on the verge of a breakthrough in biology as we know it. March 15th. Developed a way to reanimate their tissue, even in one that's been dead for weeks. This is monumental. Possibilities of it, the implications. Just hint at something hidden. Some trait present inside other creatures, or perhaps even ourselves. Need to find more volunteers. hell's wrong with these people?
What kind of person would even touch this? Not to mention dissect it.
Crazy, stupid scientist. This is how we make zombie viruses and stuff. People doing crap like this.
Some serious equipment they've got here. Oakmont University is clearly well funded.
I finally received a living specimen. Sadly, it's only the smallest one. The grunts call it Mr. Handsome, but I think it needs a proper name. I was thinking about the name for the specimen all night. I've begun a series of experiments on the creature. So far, it's proven exceptionally resistant to all the poisonous substances at my disposal, as well as acid and electrocution. Its shrieking, though, is bound to haunt me. Last night I had a vision. Thousands of hands wrapped around me as a blanket, and I heard the name inside my head. Stygian Harvester. Right. Alright. Let's up our sanity and our health. Well, I did your little experiment, sir. I'm gonna
Your
quit
lab
lab.
is certified creature-free.
Excellent, Mr. Reed. You've done us a great favor. Now we can get things up and running again.
Okay. I've done my part. Here's the bottle. Now you run those tests.
Yes. Wait here. It shouldn't take long. We finished that analysis, sir. It's ricin.
Ricin?
A highly toxic poison extracted from castor beans. It's slow-acting, but absolutely fatal to humans.
So, where do you get ricin? This isn't something you can pick up from a drugstore.
About that. It is rare, but we have a certain amount of it here. For study, in our poison store. Or we did. I'm afraid that must be where it came from. The label had been tampered with, but it certainly looks like ours. Where did you find it?
Crime scene. Someone was trying to poison a bunch of fish with it.
This is horrible. I need to warn everyone in the university about this.
Who's got access to where the poison's stored?
Only Professor Westerbrook has the key. His office is upstairs, right alongside Professor Cavendish's. Professor Westerbrook's not here, though. He's been sick for the last few days. Professor Cavendish is away as well, on vacation.
Where do they live?
Vacation?
I'm not sure, but probably somewhere in Advent. Most of the teaching staff live there. Wait, you don't think it was one of them?
I'm working on that. Can you let me upstairs?
Well... all right. This is serious. I'll help you. Here's the key, but please don't disturb the professor's things.
I love how they have this gigantic, like, value pack size of Ryzen. Just this massive tub of poison, super poisonous poison.
I'd like to know a bit more about your professors.
What do you want to know?
I want to know more about Westerbrook.
He's the head of our department. He's been here for, well, at least 30 years. He's one of the longest-serving staff we have. As you've already seen, he's particularly interested in the wild beast that recently appeared in our city.
Yeah, that's quite the unique fauna you have there.
I've no idea how he did it, but Mr. Throgmorton's men brought him live specimens for his research. He thinks he's on the verge of a breakthrough in evolutionary theory. A secret that, once revealed, will benefit all humankind.
Some secret should stay buried. 6 feet under.
You're not a man of science, are you? It's not about why. It's about what if.
What can you tell me about Professor Cavendish?
He's one of the most brilliant teachers we have here. A PhD at only 25.
Oh, God.
Just imagine. His biochemistry studies are
Overachiever.
second to none. Worthy of a Nobel Prize. If he could complete his work.
What's his problem?
I don't know. There's some kind of family trouble. It's made him standoffish and irritable, and easily distracted. I hope he gets through whatever he's going through. We need his talent, especially in these dark times.
I'll see you later.
Well, okay then. Let's try going upstairs. GameSpot gave this game a 3 out of 10 for having Lovecraft influences because their viewer thought it was dumb. A 3 out of 10, really? They gave Dragon Age 2 like a 7 or something. Like, I don't understand how these people like choose their numbers. Professor Edwin Westerbrook. Authorized personnel only.
The door won't budge.
Well, there we go.
These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison.
How much Ryzen do you need? Note from Professor Westerbrook. This is absurd. It's been 5 months and they still haven't finished repairing my office. I'm done sitting in the corridor like some kind of waiter. I won't step foot into the building again until the works are finished, or you give me Cavendish's office. Tell that to the board. I'm through with this farce. Westerbrook. Cavendish.
This should be good enough to make a decent copy.
Soap. He had a copy made? Brothers and sisters, too familiar. My fellow Americans. They are American too. Citizens of Oakmont. How much longer will we put up with those fish-faced bast, crossed out, those sea freaks? How much longer will we put up with this? Those K-forsaken degenerates who call themselves the EOD. Draft. Yeah, they do use soap in this town, but only for making keys, apparently. Clothes for maintenance. Professor Edward Westerbrook. I think that's everything here. Let's check the Mind Palace. The EOD ranks are swelling. George Caverdass made a spare key. Westbrook access to the poison. George Caverdass, professor at Oakland University, is the poison thief. He made himself a copy of the key to the poison locker. According to the student, he lives somewhere in Advent. UD ranks are swelling. Those have anything to do anything? Somewhere in Advent, so I'll have to find his house. We'll find. Maybe the city center would have his address.
I'd like to know a bit more about...
What do you...
Can you...
Of course. I'm afraid.
I'll see you later.
Well, I think that's everything. I don't think anything else here. We already listened to those dialogue options before. They just repeated themselves. Alright, let's go to the city hall and try to figure out if they know how to find the guy's address. There's gotta be a fast travel point over here somewhere. I'll go over here though, this one. Yeah, this game's definitely not perfect, but it's pretty good. I like it. The combat needs work. Yeah, the game is pretty big, like, size-wise, but it feels kind of empty, regardless of that. Like, big, open, empty space with a lot of the same kind of little hubs inside the middle of it. Definitely got good atmosphere, though. Citizens after the flood. Advent. Citizen records. George Walter Cavendish. Advent Central. Okay. Let's find where he lives. Advent Central, St. Michael's Road. St. Michael's Road. Between Carpenter Street and Constitution Street. Constitution Street and Carpenter Street. So right about there. Make a right, we should find him.
Extract.
At least it isn't Vampire.
You like?
Never got to finish that one, but Vampire was okay. I liked it. That's another diamond in the rough game.
Extra. All the news that's fit for print. Buy a paper, mister.
Holy crap, the size of whatever that is. What is that, a giant tree or a rock? Heal. That fall damage, though, is rough. Sometimes it gets really, really dark out of nowhere, like right now. Must be this house.
The door won't budge.
Tag from a baby carriage. If you want it, take it. It's free.
The door won't budge.
I'll just let myself in.
And judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around?
Westerbrook usually has his lunch about 2:30. Get some soap. Anna always stays at the fish market. She shouldn't learn about me. New hauls of fish arrive every 2 days. An ounce per box will be enough. The guard spends most of his time on the second floor during the night. Think about a way to divert suspicions from Westerbrook. Don't want him to come to any harm. Don't forget to return the flask to storage. Think about Plan B. Newspaper issue March. Going, going, gone. Body count rises as vanishings continue across Oakmont. Locals are in a panic with most of the reported disappearances occurring in the Shells, Salvation Harbor, and Grimhaven Bay. Captain Caleb Lyons of the Oakmont Police has put out a call for information. Our evidence suggests there's a link between those disappearances and the charity organization EOD that has recently risen to prominence among the city's poor, says Lyons. Most of the victims seem to have either joined this group or been a recipient of their alms. We encourage anyone with information to come forward. Chronicle reminds readers to avoid any suspicious newcomers, especially Innsmouthers, and to remain home during evening hours. Stay alert.
This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD is in the center of all of it.
Disturbance in the Shells as fighting breaks out between locals and Innsmouthers. Cause of the conflict appeared when the disappearance of several women, with locals accusing a group of Innsmouthers of the crime. The Oakmont police continue to investigate the vanishings, but as yet the case remains unsolved. One source of the Shells reported that traces of fish, scales, and seaweed were found at multiple victims' homes, which seems to have precipitated the fight. There's got to be more clues here. What's it here?
Budge.
I loved you. I always loved you.
Okay.
A lot of fancy dresses locked away in a dark corner for a long time. I'm starting to smell some deep family trauma here.
You will never understand our cause. My child is blessed by the sea. I'm leaving you, George. George, I can't live like this anymore. There's something I have to tell you.
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna! I thought the child was mine! Mine!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
George?
I don't
think
care
disorder.
what your...
You will never understand our cause. My child is blessed by the sea. I'm leaving you, George.
George Cavendish. He had a wife named Anna. She had a baby that was not his, but blessed by the sea and claimed by the EOD. This caused their split.
Passing out again.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Calm down. My name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator.
Right now, you look like someone who's breaking into my house. A burglar. Explain yourself.
Easy there. Anna from the fish market asked me to find you. You know her, right?
I should have guessed.
I know her much better than you think. What does she want from me now? She already took everything I have.
It's not about what she wants. It's about what you did. Poisoning the fish. Sound familiar? Yeah, I can prove you did it.
Hold on. Before you jump to conclusions, I want you to know that I had a good reason to do what I did. It all comes back to Anna.
What reason did you have to murder hundreds of people with Ryzen?
Oh, this should be fun. What's your good reason for poisoning innocent people? You know the EOD are feeding the hungry, don't you?
No, that's exactly the problem. They're not doing it out of charity. They do it to spread their influence and recruit new members. Some of those initiates, as they call them, vanish without a trace. And not just them. They kidnap ordinary folks, too.
And poisoning the fish would prevent this. How?
Oh, you see, not everyone in this city believes in the EOD yet. They have opposition among the citizens, both rich and poor. A rumor of the EOD's fish being poisonous and several incidents would be enough to undermine the EOD by sparking fear and mistrust.
What's Anna got to do with all this?
As you might have already gleaned, she was my wife.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it all starts to come together now.
The EOD robbed me of her. It all started with the free fish. We were all short on food at the time, and then they hooked her with their nonsense about the benevolent sea and greater good. I looked past it for some time, but then...
She became pregnant.
Yes. At first, I was over the moon. But then one day she came to me, that snake, and told me that the child was not mine. She said it was blessed by the sea, that it was demanded by the EOD. Doomed take them! I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't.
There must be another way to deal with the EOD. Like, if their crimes are that obvious, why don't you just go to the police?
They're resourceful, those sons of hagfish. They maintain a squeaky clean image, and Kay, they're good at it. I tried going to the police. They were no help at all. And I'm not suicidal enough to make it public and take them to court.
What did she mean? Blessed by the sea.
What do you think is the cause of Innsmouth syndrome in people?
Living in Innsmouth?
That K-forsaken place has nothing to do with it. It comes from breeding with monsters. These sea creatures they call Deep Ones. They take our women and they spoil them with their seed. Then they give birth to degenerate fish-faced offspring.
Where did you learn all of this? This information about the EOD?
After Anna left, I had nothing. But I did have a lot of time to research Innsmouthers, the EOD, and the story behind them. It is an old and powerful organization. They appeared back in the mid-19th century in Innsmouth, and the first people with the Innsmouth syndrome started showing up around that same time.
Ah, perhaps not coincidentally.
No, of course not. And the EOD is immensely rich. The sudden rise to power of the Blackwood family happened right after they joined them.
So what's your next move?
I was interrupted and couldn't finish my task. The EOD received a fresh haul of fish, but now they're on alert and raised their guard. I understand I'm in no position to ask. But after reviewing all the facts I've presented to you, Mr. Reed, would you agree to help me?
Keep talking. Now, what is it you want from me?
Poison the rest of the fish. It's spreading, but it's not enough. The EOD trusts you enough to deal with me, so it should be simple for you. My agent inside the EOD reports that they've just received a fresh haul. That's your target.
Your agent inside the EOD. Is he fairly high up the ranks?
Ah, I see where this is going. You need something from the EOD too.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a certain person who may be held by them.
My agent can arrange that. If someone is being held by the EOD, he'll know it. It's a win-win situation.
All right. Look, I'm gonna need to think about this.
Of course. But don't be too long. I'm going to need an answer before I let you go. I hope you can understand why.
Well, I definitely think that the EOD is up to something. A little too squeaky clean. EOD is suspected of kidnappings and assault by the police. Secret chamber. EOD has much more going on than the charity organizations. They're dirty. I know it. Whatever they're up to isn't good. The guard is afraid of Anna. Anna Cadaverous is a zealous servant of EOD and should follow instructions without hesitation. George sabotaged EOD. George Cadaverous poisoned the fish to undermine EOD's charitable operations. Anna Cadaverous is covering up the EOD's shady ambition to take over the city. George Cadaverous became desperate after EOD robbed him of his wife. He's determined to save the others from the same fate. Show up George Cadaverous to loosen the EOD's grip on the city. Yeah, I think we're gonna help him because I definitely believe that the EOD is up to something.
And judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around?
So, have you made up your mind?
It's so weird the physics do that every time in this game where you talk to someone and they go.
Your methods stink and your plan stinks. Still, the EOD is a threat, and I'm not gonna help them anymore. I'm in.
You're doing a great favor for this city, Mr. Reed. Never doubt that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. Remind me what it is I have to do.
You need to poison the fresh haul of fish at the EOD storage. It's heavily guarded, but you'll figure out something, I've no doubt. I'll be back later. I need to see my agent. Find me after you're done. Here's the address and some ricin. Be very careful with it.
Yeah, will do.
Oh, that wasn't a Tic Tac? Oh, shit.
Yet.
Does it say all evidence collected? Yep. Yay! Alright, let's go poison half the city. All these people here are really gross and disgusting anyway, so I don't really care. I know for a fact the poisoner is George Cavendish. I can now put this in at the fish market. Fish storage is in the Western Shells. Western Shells. Between Warren Road and Liberty Road. Oh, same place. Same place as before. Alright, so let's get back there.
What's your problem? Knock it off.
Yeah, I think his method will work, but it's a horrible way to do it. Feel the gentle touch of tentacles. Fish brawny. No, it's not hentai. How else do you stop something rich and influential? You take away their influence. It's true. You murder a bunch of people. People get all upset and be mad at you for a little while until they forget about it. And then they start praising you again. Humans like to forget stuff really fast.
Burn your eyes.
Hello again, Daryl. I serve the sea.
Sea be praised, Mr. Reed. Good to see you again.
Yeah, how's it going?
Still guarding this old piece of drock, as you can see.
Mind if I go inside?
Sure, no problem with that. Stay as long as you want.
Daryl, listen to me carefully. If you want to keep breathing, you gotta skip town. Now. You're taking a lot of heat on account of that fish poisoning. The EOD is on it like a dog on a bone, and they will find out the truth eventually.
Bah, I don't believe it.
Daryl, I'm saying this only because you're a real stand-up guy and I respect you. Leave this place, forget about the EOD, or it will kill you.
Fine, fine. You've always been on the level with me. I'll leave.
Don't be a stranger, Daryl.
Bye,
May the
Daryl.
sea protect you, Mr. Reed.
Bye, Daryl. Buddy. When. I dosed the fish with Ryzen. The guard, I did the guard a favor earlier, so that's why he's listening to me. If I had turned him in, that would have been a different person. He probably wouldn't have let me in. So I'm glad I stuck up for the guy. Otherwise, I've been screwed, not be able to get back in there. Alright, let's go over here now. Meet him at the corner of Hawking Lane and Liberty Road near his storage. Oh, near the storage. Whoops. I need to go back. Damn it. Dan, usually a nice guy, but didn't expect he'd be a poisoner. I'm not a poisoner. I'm just helping to solve a problem by doing something. I'm poisoning a bunch of people so that way the EOD loses its influence. Otherwise, they'll be unstoppable.
It's done. The fish have been poisoned.
Perfect. This will make a decisive blow to the EOD in Oakmont. You've done a great thing, Mr. Reed.
Your contact better be worth the trouble, George.
He's already waiting for you in the basement of the fish market. His name's Fred. You'll need to tell him a password.
Oh, you're kidding me. Passwords? Again?
Oh, yes. We decided to use this EOD feature against them. Ironic, don't you think? Funny, even.
Right, funny. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just split my sides laughing.
Anyway, the password is, the sea is a cruel mistress. Good luck.
You know anything about Harriet Doe? A professor from the university.
Harriet. Ah, yes, I remember her. Brilliant anthropologist. It was always a pleasure to read her articles. Is it her you're looking for?
Yes.
Yeah. She participated in Throgmorton's little, expedition to the depths. That's where the EOD captured her.
Oh, kidnapping promising female scientists from the university must have become a hobby for them. Freaks.
Bye.
Alright. Can now approach Fred, a high-ranking member of the EOD who's been working with Cavendish. And to meet him in the basement of the fish market. Passphrase is sees a cruel mistress. Sees a cruel mistress. I love game. Yeah, this having full voice acting really adds to the game. If it was all text, it just wouldn't be the same. Let's go over here. Yeah, most of the voice actors are good too. Couple here and there that are like, eh. They're mostly side characters. Now, where the hell's the base? Oh, here. Are you him?
Hello? Your name Fred?
Might be. What do you want?
It's funny, you know. The water's choppy, the weather bad, and I miss sailing more than ever. It's like they say, the sea is a cruel mistress.
I know what you mean. But listen, I've got a story you might enjoy. You're looking for Professor Doe, ain't that right? The scientist the Order kidnapped. I think we can help each other.
How do you mean? You know where she is?
Slow down, buddy. Helping each other is not the same as let me just tell you everything.
I gotta do something for you now, too.
What is this order you mentioned?
Yeah. You don't know, do you? EOD. It really stands for the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
Dagon.
What happened?
And of course, they make sacrifices to him. In blood.
Well, it's not like I have options. I gotta find the scientist. Now, what's the price?
Believe me, I'll be glad to help you find her. But I need a little help first.
Yeah, I figured.
You've seen some of this city now, am I right? You've in England what's coming? I want out of the Order and the city before it hits. Trouble is, it's much easier to get into the Order than to leave. Give the slightest hint of it. You've signed your death warrant. I need somebody to get me out of the city on the quiet. And that's not an easy thing these days, my friend.
I've no idea how to help you with that.
Ain't you a detective? There are people in the city, smugglers, who know what to do. Find them. That's how you can help. See, I've heard whispers about ads in the newspaper. A new ad every week, talking about Salvation Harbor. Maybe start there.
All right.
All right, fine. I'll look into it. But your lead on the professor had better be worth it.
I know where they've got her. I can get you there. You just find me a way out fast, or I might be too dead to be any use to you.
Very well. Fine. Figures, every time I do a favor for someone and get access to another person, I have to then do another favor for the next person. It's like, really? Really, bruh? Alright, guys, I gotta get